in the end, B.S. Yediyurappa turned out to be Chief Minister for just 2 days, 48 hours, and now H.D. Kumaraswamy, leading the JDS Congress combine, is set to be meeting the governor this evening in just about half an hour from now, and he will be sworn in on Monday. That's the news coming in, and this has been the development after a dramatic day where B.S. Yediyurappa didn't go in for the floor test, which was slated at about 4 o'clock. Just before the floor test, he gave an emotional speech and he said that he would have liked to work a lot but for the people of Karnataka, but he was stepping down. He said it was because of the ploys used by the Congress party, and after that he stepped down, went and met the governor and resigned. Those pictures that you see from earlier in the day when he went to meet the governor and he resigned. So those were the dramatic developments. And let me just go across to NDTV's Maya Sharma. Maya, quite a turn of events there, and now H.D. Kumaraswamy again going to meet the governor to seek to be sworn in on Monday to stake claim. Has he been invited or is he staking claim?
We know that he is visiting Raj Bhavan at 7:30, so still not quite clear on the modalities, whether he's approaching the governor and asking for a chance to be allowed to form the government, or if the governor has in fact invited him there. We'll know in a little while. He's due to meet the governor at 7:30 p.m. this evening, and it has been an absolute roller coaster. I mean, it feels like just a couple of days ago we had a chief minister sworn in, and it was indeed just a couple of days ago that we had a chief minister sworn in, and now one more to come on Monday, Chief Minister Kumaraswamy. Now, a roller coaster, yes, and it's been ups and downs for the parties as well. As the results started coming in, the BJP was celebrating, the JDS and the Congress down in the dumps. Then, when the Congress and JDS came together again, they had the upper hand and the BJP was very quiet. And then the governor invited Yediyurappa to form the government. They were on top of the world, but he couldn't get the numbers for the floor test. Disappointment for him again, an emotional speech, a resignation without facing a floor test he felt he was sure to lose. And now it's the turn of the JDS and the Congress to celebrate. It's tough to keep track of.
Maya, what do people there say? When did they suddenly feel that it's wise not to go in for the floor test? Is it when it became kind of apparent that they weren't going to get some of the people that he kept referring, B.S. Yediyurappa kept referring to MLAs voting by their conscience? They were also very confident. Supreme Court, they said that they have the support of JDS and Congress MLAs. But you know, when they realized this morning, is it this morning that they realized that they didn't have all the numbers and the support that they wanted?
You know, even in the morning, I think they still had some hope. But probably when those two errant MLAs, those prodigal MLAs returned to the Congress, Anand Kumar and Pratap Gowda Patil returned to the Congress into the arms of when they returned to the Congress, Anand Singh and Pratap Gowda Patil returned to the Congress, I think probably at that time they must have felt it's over. Because soon after that we began hearing talk of Yediyurappa's resignation, of giving a speech and going to Raj Bhavan. That's when the talk really began, because I think the BJP was pretty confident until then. But what complicated the issue this time around was that there were really very few independents to try and lure over. The last time round, when they fell a little short of majority, there were independents who could be induced to support them. But now the support had to come from the JDS and the Congress MLAs.
Yes.
There was really nobody else to choose from. And the Congress and the JDS kept a close grip, a very close grip on their MLAs, taking them to Hyderabad, taking them to resorts, and apparently also recording conversations of BJP leaders offering them inducements. That, of course, something the BJP has denied. But they kept a close eye on the MLAs, and it didn't happen.
Right, BJP denied that, but all of them started appearing. The Congress kept releasing them in the run-up to that announcement by B.S. Yediyurappa that he wasn't, that he was going to resign. Sam Daniel, if I can go across to you, you're at Raj Bhavan. They're all preparing there now for the next claimant to the Chief Minister's post to come in.
Well, Sunitra, actually I am at the BJP headquarters in Chennai, but yes, we are hearing about the visit of the Congress team to the Raj Bhavan in a while from now. Whether is it on the invitation of the governor or is it the Congress, the JDS combined staking claim. That's something we'll have to wait and watch. But at the BJP headquarters here, the mood is quite somber. But they say the battle is not over yet. We had Anand Kumar addressing the press soon after Yediyurappa resigned on the floor of the House and put in his papers to the governor. And he said, expect elections very soon. So obviously the BJP is looking for some kind of friction between the JD and the Congress coalition, particularly taking into account the fact that despite having more numbers, they say the Congress has literally surrendered to the JDS, and off camera many say this marriage of convenience, as they call it, may not last long, and they certainly look for an opportunity to strike back harder to capture Karnataka sooner. But regionally, the BJP certainly looked at this victory, their party emerging as the single largest party, as a huge grand entry or re-entry in southern India ahead of the 2019 polls, and that's something that's backfired. But the writing was very clear on the wall. By no means they could have mustered that kind of a number when the MLAs they were looking at from other parties, they themselves were taking claim. And now we'll have to wait and watch what kind of buzz and what kind of brisk activity will Karnataka witness in the formation of the next government, both in terms of the deputy chief ministership and other ministerial berths for both camps. From the JDE and the Congress.
Okay, Sam Daniel, keep getting us what the BJP leadership is saying and what the thinking there is. As Anand Kumar is saying over there, that it's not over. So let me just go across to my guest there. We also are joined by Tom Vadakkan here in studio. And of course, we have Sudhindra Kulkarni, author and columnist, and Pallav Shishodia, senior advocate, and of course, Vaibhav Agarwal of the BJP. Tom Vadakkan, you know, all the pictures that are coming in from Delhi, your Congress office in Delhi and in Karnataka, they show all congressmen dancing. But Anand Kumar pointing out there that a bit too early, you know, you have another floor test to win.
Well, there is always hope, you know, in their hearts, because ultimately they have to address the Kada. Now, this kind of, it's not just about the numbers. You see, what has happened here is, you come into public domain with the kind of visuals that has created a horror across the nation. And the point is, what is the ruling party up to? What kind of money a chief minister aspirant talking on television, his son, like father, is offering the same. And this has stuck the nerve center of this country. It's not about Congress.
No, but those tapes are not proved yet.
These are sting operations. I mean, they'll deny everything. What do you expect a murder convict?
They're saying it's mimicry.
A murder convict will tell you we committed the murder.
This is the first time somebody has brought this up.
The murder convict will not say I did the murder. He'll have all defenses. There's a good lawyer sitting here. He'll tell you that if he has a murder case, the first thing the advice is, for God's sake, shut up.
Probably
so,
this lawyer won't say that.
Deny the whole issue. But now the point is, the public is shocked. This is not about just Karnataka elections. This message is flashed across the country. If this is democracy, that the practitioners in the center are practicing, then you have a situation which is going to be very, very questionable.
Okay.
And 2019, the people of India are watching you.
Okay, but Tom Vadakkan, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah.
My question is about what's going to happen with you all now, you and the JDS. Because the numbers are still a bit tricky.
This is,
you know, you're comfortably off, you say, but it's about 4, 5, 116, 117. So it's just 5 off the mark. And the BJP is saying that we are going to have elections soon, because obviously they are also going to keep trying.
See, this is just a curtain raiser, and I think the foundation ceremony of an opposition unity across the country. You will notice that when these MLAs moved out, they tried contacting Kerala, but there were some problems. The central, the hotels were not available, whatever. What will be the circumstances? Where did they move? And what is the cooperation that we receive from neighboring states?
Yeah.
And the kind of, you know, the cementing force is the opposition unity. This is not a Fevicol ad, you know, where there's a temporary arrangement. This is the very foundation of opposition unity, and this is the beginning, and that has happened. This is the reality there.
Vaibhav Agarwal, one of the things that Sam Daniel said is you know, it strikes all of us, because one of the things that was pitched as when Northeast was won, they said, you know, this is what we wanted, this is what Shyama Prasad Mukherjee and other people talked about, Deendayal Upadhyay talked about, to get that frontier. But this was, South was meant, you know, meant a lot. But now it's obviously gone wrong. If you're going to analyze what went wrong, what would you pin it down to?
The only thing that went down, perhaps, southways, in the south. Okay, so that's rhyming. So the only thing went south, was
South
perhaps
is not one state. Okay?
Yeah,
Let me get this this mental block. That's Karnataka, there is Kerala, there is Tamil Nadu. So let's not label it as one state.
It's
I was
just
just-
that
it was just
this
to lighten-
was, this
it was
was
just
the
to lighten
first.
note.
But no, this is the
It's
mindset
just a
you
light
need to
note.
change. South is just
South
not
is for
Karnataka.
us-
It is Kerala, it is
us-
Tamil Nadu. For us, that's exactly
for
the
us,
point.
for us, Tom,
Yeah.
it's not south and north and east and west. For us, it is one India. You're getting
Each
me wrong.
has a
It was.
state.
It's.
Each
it
Tom
was-
Badakkan
state has
is-
its, each state has its value.
You're now using the rallying cry which Siddaramaiah used, you know, in the election campaign
No,
about
I'm
the
shocked at
Kannada
this.
pride.
South? What do you mean South?
No, I was only addressing
everybody.
Sunetraji's question.
Okay, you made your point. Okay, go on,
Sunetraji's
Vaibhav.
question.
Yeah.
So what went wrong? What went south in a southern state of Karnataka? You know, that should make you happy. So was I think that we did not achieve the median mark.
Yeah.
And I think that is what primarily has created a furore amongst the political class in the state of Karnataka.
Yeah.
And I also feel that this must have happened for a reason. We all need to feel human and not robotic like a machine in terms of understanding that we all work on ground in a team format, and there are bound to be we are bound to make mistakes because we're all humans at the end of the day, and we all humans to make errors.
Yeah.
And yes, so I think we were trying to give governance with 104. And hoping that there would be a conscience vote there and we would be able to form the government rightly and righteously. Did not resort. We failed miserably in using the government machinery to form the government, no doubt about it, because we are unable to use it. We did not know how to use the money power at all, if we have, at our disposal, claimed by everyone else. And I'm sorry, but we failed miserably to misuse the resources available at our hand and form the government
Okay.
too hastily. And we backed out at the right moment and saying that we couldn't get a conscience vote. Where are we wrong in that?
Okay. I just want to go across, before I go to, I know Sudhindra Kulkarni, you have a remark to make, but I just want to go across to Sneha Mary Koshi, she is at Raj Bhavan. So Sneha, in a short while from now, H.D. Kumaraswamy coming there to stake claim? Sneha, hi, can you hear me? Okay, Sneha, tell us
Well,
what's
actually,
happening.
Sunetra,
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Kumaraswamy has already reached the governor's house. Just about few seconds back, he left. Yes, Sunetra, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, we seem to be having some trouble getting over there, but Sneha's just reporting that H.D. Kumaraswamy has reached Raj Bhavan there. Sudhindra Kulkarni, you had a point to make?
Certainly, you know, as we discussed earlier, it is the Supreme Court that has saved the day, that has saved Indian democracy. But we cannot always depend on the Supreme Court. We cannot always be sure that there will be conscientious judges who will rise to the occasion, because we know that attempts have been made even to subvert the judiciary itself. So therefore, what is needed after today's experience is that there must be foolproof reforms, electoral reforms, governance reforms, to ensure that in the case of a hung assembly, a fractured mandate, the governor cannot misuse his office.
Yeah.
Which means that what are the norms for a post-poll alliance, what are the norms for dealing with a party that emerges as the largest? Because there is some merit that an opportunistic alliance, a post-poll alliance, does not really reflect the mandate of the people, the will of the people, because the two parties fought against each other. There is some merit in that. At the same time, you cannot have a party that does not have a majority and yet claim to govern. So therefore, we need, back in 1980s, there was a Sarkaria Commission which gave very clear recommendations on how not to let governor's office misused. Unfortunately, those recommendations have not been implemented.
No, but the Sarkaria Commission, in fact, Mr. Kulkarni, is the one that is constantly being cited by the BJP when they were saying
exactly.
this. The Sarkaria Commission had 4
You're
guidelines,
right.
and they said that first was the single largest party, which the other side, JDS and Congress kept, and some lawyers also said that in this particular case it didn't apply because you had a combination which had the numbers. So Sarkaria Commission didn't really apply. So obviously there was maneuvering, there was room to maneuver and kind of manipulate what Sarkaria Commission said, which both sides cited to their advantage.
So this room has to be removed now. Room for
Right.
maneuverability, discretion has to be removed. The point is that back in 1980, it was the Congress, it was the BJP rather, which was strongest in raising its voice against misuse of governor's office. Today, the BJP itself is doing so.
Right.
And therefore, the time has come for all parties, and the people must put pressure on all parties to ensure that such incidents do not recur again, because as I said, we cannot always depend on the Supreme Court
Right.
to step in and save democracy.
Yeah.
May I quickly
Yeah,
rebut him?
Very quickly. Yeah.
It's okay. So 4 points, Mr. Kulkarni, and I'm taking the pleasure of addressing you. You are my senior, but I'd still address you. With all due respects, you are wrong in all 4 points that you've made. Let me rebut you point by point. Point number 1, you're casting aspersions on certain judges that you do not believe are Congress-minded, and that is why you're casting aspersions on the judiciary. Please do not do so. The judiciary and all judges believe in the principle of equality. Do not dare to do that again, at least when I'm on the panel. I would take offense to it. Point number 1. Point number 2, not everyone thinks about you. Point number 2, the videography order that you mentioned in the previous interaction with Sunetra ji on the show, just about 15 minutes back, was not the Supreme Court's order, was out of the order. The Supreme Court ordered it only after the recommendation, voluntary recommendation, if you understand law any bit. It is voluntary recommendation without a discussion by the Assistant Attorney General ASG Tushar Mehta, who represented the Karnataka state. I think I'm loud and clear. It should go down well with you. So do not say that the Supreme Court saved the day. Supreme Court only in this matter particularly worked as a mediator and set the record straight.
Okay. You've counted that.
Third, Sarkaria Commission. I mean, when we wanted to implement it now, it was Congress. Congress never implemented it. Now we're wrong. So everyone's saying what BJP is trying to do is misuse the office. Now, misuse of the governor, can I ask Sudhindra Kulkarni ji, who's also supposed to be a learned fellow, can he demonstrate legally the misuse of the office of the governor that he's casting aspersions on?
Can we just take a break and can we just go across, can we just play out the 2 statements, one by Prakash Javadekar and one by Rahul Gandhi. Let's just hear what they both said after, because in the Rahul Gandhi comment, that's where he attacks institutions and he talks about governors' offices. Let's just hear from those 2 and then come and take all your comments again. I know all of you want to comment. Yeah.
They disrespect the mandate of the people of Karnataka. They disrespect the mandate of the people of Goa. They disrespect the mandate of the people of Manipur, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And I'm very proud to say that they have been shown that in India, power is not everything. In India, money is not everything. In India, corruption is not everything. In India, the will of the people is everything. You have seen openly right in front of you how the Prime Minister has authorized, directly authorized, the buying, purchasing of MLAs in Karnataka from our party and from the JDS. So the idea that Mr. Prime Minister spreads around the country that he is fighting corruption is a blatant lie. He is corruption.
राहुल गांधी जी ने कहा कि कांग्रेस हैज डिफीटेड बीजेपी। हद हो गई। बीजेपी हैज डिफीटेड कांग्रेस। बीजेपी के 40 सीटें थी, 104 हुई। कांग्रेस की 122 थी, 78 हो गई। तो हारे कांग्रेस, हारा जनता दल एस, 40 से 38 हुए। जीता बीजेपी, 40 से 104 हुए, केवल 7 कम थे, 7। एंड देयरफॉर राहुल गांधी स्टेटमेंट दैट कांग्रेस हैज डिफीटेड बीजेपी इज लाफेबल।
So as Kumaraswamy he's gone in to meet the governor Vajubhai Vala, I just want to ask Pallav Sisodiya, are there any laws, because I think the governor's office has come under major scrutiny after this. The Congress has attacked him. We just heard Vaibhav Agarwal, the BJP, is saying that this is wrong, this kind of attacking of the. But are there any laws that he has, or other laws, do they completely give him discretion and he acted out of his discretion?
No, you see, law is very well settled. There is a discretion with the governor in deciding who is to be called to be the next chief minister after an election. But that discretion has to be exercised on the known parameters of judging or making a robust judgment, a sound judgment as to who is commanding the majority in the House. Now, if there is an error in the judgment, it is open to judicial review. A High Court or a Supreme Court, on a person who is aggrieved by that discretion, can approach the High Court or Supreme Court, and this is what you saw this time. And the judicial review is the check. Now, these are, you see, in the matters of, say, property, the laws are well settled, but still there are disputes.
Yes, you're
so
right.
Likewise, we are living in a very, very noisy and a competitive democracy. So these kind of situations are bound to arise, and these kind of cases are bound to come to courts from time to time.
Okay.
But then it is not to say that we don't have law or there are no checks and balances. There are enough checks and balances.
Which is the High Court and Supreme Court, you're saying, in this case.
Yes, and it would be a matter of application. You saw in Uttarakhand what happened.
That's right.
The High Court reversed the president's rule.
Right.
And Supreme Court upheld it. This is what happened in Arunachal also.
Yes.
And this was after a judicial review, after a proper hearing.
Right.
Now, in this case also, Supreme Court has deferred the hearing on the main point about the scope
right, so
of
that
the
is going to be
discretion
looked at
by the governor.
Of course, yes.
So there may be some guidelines which may come up after a proper hearing in the
matter. That's really interesting.
So,
I just want to go across. Okay, I just want to go across to Sneha Meri Koshi, who hopefully should be able to hear me this time. Sneha, I believe you have all the JDS workers behind you. What are they saying? What are their expectations?
Well, Sunetra, we must remember that JDS and JDS leaders were somebody who were completely written off when it comes to coming back to power. But by the governor. Now, he will call in on Monday, and a day later on Tuesday or what do you have to say? What do you have to say that finally a JDS leader is going to become a chief minister of Karnataka all over again?
It is a victory of democracy. It is a victory of democracy. Karnataka ಜನತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನುಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಇದು ಜಯ ಇದು.
Okay, well, it is a victory of democracy. That's what most people say.
Farmer victories. It's a victory for farmers.
It's a victory of farmers. Well, even Mr. Yediyurappa in the assembly was saying about
But yes, we were debating our constituency. We came.
But he was saying that he wanted to do things for the farmers.
Today, as per the parliament, as per the Supreme Court, they called to show the majority, but they have not done the show.
All right. Well, here party workers obviously very upbeat, raising slogans and saying this is nothing else but the victory of democracy. The story is not quite over literally, because Congress and JDS both need to prove, need to pass the test on the floor, which, well, they do have the numbers for now.
Sneha, what do they say about working with Congress people who they were just recently working against during the campaign? Do they think they can do that?
Well, there are very interesting reactions to that, but let me ask people here. So, on the ground, during the campaigning, Congress and JDS, they fought bitterly.
Yeah.
They were against each other. Are you okay now to work with Congress people?
Definitely, madam. In the sake of Karnataka people, we are ready to work with the Congress. There is no question of quarreling. Our agenda is only secular. Nothing other than that.
Okay, let me ask some more. So don't you have a problem, like BJP has been calling it an unholy alliance? Anybody,
First of all,
BJP has been calling this an unholy alliance, that Congress and JDS fought with each other so miserably, so severely, and now they want to come to power. Anybody else here? Just a minute.
No, madam, absolutely no. Any secular parties cannot be unholy alliances.
Cannot be unholy. And you're okay to work on the ground. Are you a JDS worker?
Yes, madam.
And are you okay to work with Congress workers on the ground?
Definitely, yes, definitely.
What about your fellow workers? I've been hearing a lot, you know, many people are very upset that, you know, all this while they campaigned for JDS against Congress, and now they have to campaign with Congress perhaps?
No, nobody is upset.
There are some persons like me who are very aggressive for JDS, but we have to go for compromise. We have to work with Congress for the secular purpose, for in the spite of our state's interest.
Well, here you go, fierce JDS loyalists and workers, but saying for the cause of secularism, they will go with Congress.
They said for the cause of secularism, and also they said for the people. I wonder if it's more for the people or for power, Sneha. Thanks very much. We'll of course keep tracking that story with you as Kumaraswamy comes out after staking claim, and he'll be taking oath on Monday. Any word on this, Tom Vadakkan, on who is going to be the Deputy Chief Minister?
Just give us breathing time. We've just come out of a situation where it was touch and go in terms of the kind of machinery that was working against us. Our people and the JDS have worked together for the victory of secularism, which you just heard. But I really wanted to put something on record, Sunitra, which I think has not been mentioned in on many television channels. Direct transmission from the Legislative Assembly has been happening for last 8 years. Okay? So it is not as if a gift has been given this side. For last 8 years, there has been transmission live from the assembly in Karnataka. So I want to put that record right. Yeah, that's second correct. Record, which I want to put.
Okay, so it was basically that the bench didn't know, and
whoever didn't know, whatever.
Okay.
But I'm putting that on record.
Okay,
second
yeah,
point
right.
I want to make here is, there's a big talk about judiciary. My friend Agarwal emotionally was seen attacking a panelist. I'm not emotional about it. But neither the BJP nor the Congress bought out 4 judges. Judges, not of any small court, came out and prayed for justice, that they wanted justice. Now, this has never happened in free India. So let's not.
In the natural justice, they should have resigned and then prayed for it.
Whatever they have done, they came out and were
that may be
praying
a
for
problem.
justice.
Okay.
So the question is, the larger question is about India. This has never happened in free India. And if some people take a position on that the judges are under pressure, what's wrong with it?
Okay. Okay, we're going to keep talking about this. Also, what's very important coming up in just a bit, we're going to play out the reactions coming in from all the regional parties, all of them watching this election very, very closely, watching the developments there very closely. What is the message for them? What is their takeaway? How do they react? And our panelists to react on that. we'll stay on the story, and of course, Kumaraswamy, HD Kumaraswamy is meeting with the governor right now. Stay with us.